Hey guys, today I'm going to be teaching you a little bit about building the illusion while using a levy stick. Now, a lot of times I'll see people, especially when they're new, uh, doing this, which you still have the illusion because it's a levy stick and it's built that way. It's built to have illusion. Well, that illusion is not going to last very long with just one hand because people are going to catch on pretty quick. Well, it must be attached to that hand. Therefore, we should scrutinize that hand and all the space in between the hand and the wand. And pretty soon people will start to figure it out. So while doing this, you're really going to want to engage your non-string hand. And the theory behind this is that if we pretend like our non-string hand has the string and our string hand doesn't have the string, then that will help create the illusion. Because especially if you get really dramatic and into it with your non-string hand and really trick yourself into believing that it's what controls the stick, then people will focus more on your non-string hand than they will on the actual string hand, which is just kind of chilling there, not doing a whole bunch. And then while they're paying attention to your non-string hand, they'll forget about the one that actually has the string, and that will give you quite a bit more time, if not an entire show, of them trying to figure it out and not be able to do it because they're looking at the wrong hand. So make sure when you're doing this that you have both hands engaged, and especially pretend as if though your non-string hand is the one that's actually controlling the levy stick, because that will throw a lot of people off and help build the illusion because they won't be able to figure it out. Therefore, well, there is no string because I can't see a string attached to that finger or to that hand or anything like that. So that really helps build the illusion quite a bit. Now, the second thing about building the illusion is messing with your string length. As you start to lengthen your string, I wouldn't recommend going more than a few inches at a time, about 4 to 6 inches at a time. Get used to that and then lengthen it, and then lengthen it more as you get used to each one of those. It's hard to go from your basic string length to a 6-foot string because then you have all the string, you don't know what to do with it, your levy stick is so far away, you don't know what your radius is, you're hitting lamps and stuff because you're not quite in control. So make sure that you lengthen your string little by little and keep it comfortable. Don't get into a place where you're uncomfortable because that's when you're going to make a mistake and then the entire illusion will be blown. So lengthen it slowly. Once your string has quite a bit more length on it, you can change the distance that your flow wand is from your body. So if you keep it at the basic length, then people are going to sort of start to catch on to that. Well, it's always the same distance from their body, therefore it must be on a fixed line. But if you have it on a much longer line and you wrap around yourself to shorten it and then unwrap to lengthen it, that will make the connection between you and the wand look a bit more liquid. So it's not quite so fixed. It can only go this far away from your body at all times. It can fluctuate and come back and forth. And that's done by wrapping, most commonly around your hand. And when doing this, I recommend to do it around the palm, because if you do it around your fingers, then you lose finger motion and range of motion completely. So it looks like there's something wrapped around your hand. But if it's around your palm, then you still have total finger and hand motion. Also, when you're doing this, know where to wrap, especially if you're moving up to a much longer string. So obviously your first time around, you're probably not going to want to try and use your leg as something to wrap it around because that's not going to be very easy. Start off with your hand. I've seen people do it around their upper body, like across their chest and shoulders, to go around there and then go around the other direction. I've seen people use their neck, Obviously, be careful because you're wrapping a string around your neck. That's obviously not a good idea, but if you do it right, you can get the illusion pretty well. Also wrapping around your midsection, like I said, your palm, your arms, things like that. Those are good things to wrap around, and they're easy to manipulate the string and the wand from there. Also, when wrapping, you need to know that depending on what you're wearing, like my shirt here probably wouldn't be something good to do this with. And a lot of times the skin of your hands or your arms or whatever you're wrapping will give the string enough of a background that it becomes visible. So that's something to really be aware of when you're doing a lot of wrapping, especially if you're going around your palm 3 or 4 times, then that's going to create these black lines, and especially if they're close together, it's going to be dense and much more visible. So if you're really close to people and it's coming around your hand a lot, then you're going to get much more visible lines so that it stands out. As opposed to when you're doing the levy stick, it has a whole array of background colors to blend in with and not be so noticeable, let alone as it's right against your light colored shirt or the skin on your hand or any other part of your body that you're wrapping. So really just be mindful that your string begins to stand out as you do the wrapping. So keep your wrapping short-lived or inconspicuous. You can wear darker clothing and then wrap it around yourself for much longer periods of time without it being conspicuous. But if you're wearing light colors, then that's definitely going to be something that's going to make it stand out and pop. So a lot of this is basically tricking anybody who's watching into thinking that there's no way that there could be a string because they're looking at the wrong hand and they don't see a string, or it keeps moving farther and closer away from the body than it was before with the wrapping, and then unwrapping and going farther and closer away. Things like that. So that's all about building the illusion, is trying to throw people off and not let them know that there's a string. So let me know if you guys have any questions. Talk to you later.